My name is Kaitlyn Dorka, and I am so excited to be here today, bringing the word to you guys. So as you know, we're just going to dive right in. As you know, we've been going through Acts 4, and as a quick recap, Peter and John were heading up to the temple. They came across a lame beggar, and in the name of Jesus, they healed him. And they continued to preach the gospel and proclaim Christ and say, he's the reason that this man has been healed. And all the people saw it. Many came to Christ. It was awesome. However, they were arrested for doing this. And when asked about the power used, they continued to proclaim Christ. You know, he is the power. He's the reason why this man is now healed. So that brings us to Acts chapter 4. I'm going to read verses 13 through 22. Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were uneducated, common men, they were astonished, and they recognized that they had been with Jesus. But seeing the man who was healed standing beside them, they had nothing to say in opposition. But when they had commanded them to leave the council, they conferred with one another, saying, "What shall we do with these men? For that a notable sign has been performed through them is evident to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it. But in order that it may spread no further among the people, let us warn them to speak no more to anyone in his name." So they called them, and they charged them not to speak or teach at all in the name of Jesus. But Peter and John answered them, "Whether it is right in the sight of God to listen to you rather than to God, you must judge. For we cannot but speak of what we have seen and heard." And when they had further threatened them, they let them go, finding no way to punish them because of the people. For all were praising God for what had happened. For the man on whom the sign of healing was performed was more than 40 years old. Incredible text here. The biggest thing that jumps out to me is their boldness. Even though they were considered uneducated, common men, they were bold. They spoke about what they had seen, about the miracle that they witnessed. And that's all that they could do was proclaim Christ. You know, he healed this man. And that's what they were doing. And I know that comforts me because sometimes I get caught up with, am I going to say the right thing? What if I don't? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I mess up my words? What if I sound, dumb? But this was a huge encouragement that when we just are faithful and we see what God's done in our life, the testimony that he has done, it's not about us. It's not about me. The testimony isn't something that I've curated somehow. The testimony is what God has done in my life. And when I go ahead and am faithful with that and share it with others, look what God's done. He's faithful and will use that to bring others to come to know him. So really, really cool. Just encouraged when reading that. And so we see that this work of God in our life is the evidence that cannot be denied. So we see the elders and the rulers and, in charge saying, okay, we can't deny this. We see the man healed standing next to Peter and John. There's no way we can deny this. So they do the next best thing and they try to shut them up. So in verse 18, we see, "So they called them and charged them not to speak or teach at all in the name of Jesus. But Peter and John answered them, 'Whether it is right in the sight of God to listen to you rather than to God, you must judge. For we cannot but speak of what we have seen and heard.'" So they basically say, what's right in God's eyes? To listen to you or to him? So I just want to encourage you to be bold. Share your testimony. Share what God's done in your life with those around you and trust that he will use that in the lives of those that you share it with. Because God's faithful and your story is not something that can be denied. It's not something that someone's going to be like, no, I don't think that's true. No, it happened to me. It is true. This is what God's done, and as we walk with Christ, we can see his faithfulness and those around us, hopefully, if we're walking with Christ, can see just how he's working and how he's changing us and how we're becoming to look more and more like Christ. So when we are just bold and we share what God's done, he is faithful and he will use that to draw others close to him, just as he used Peter and John's testimony to bring thousands of people to him through this miracle. So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to do the same. Have a great week. Bye.